I'm Jack Jordan, and this is Jack Murray.
Back again.
Yeah, back again. We're going to present the...
It's Jack Murray.
It's Jack Murray and then Jack Jordan, yeah. So we're going to present the Joyce Chapel Bridge, located in Fawkner Memorial Park. Nested among the eucalyptic fringe banks, the Joyce Chapel Bridge spans Merlynston Creek, both a functional pedestrian connection and a place for memorial reflection. It connects a visitor's arrival car park with a chapel and crematorium.
So this sort of comes out of this relationship to existing heritage bridge. The bridge is a contributory part of a heritage overlay that spans the entire cemetery. It was designed sort of 1904-1905 by Charles Heath, who was a proponent of the Garden City movement and the City Beautiful movement, taking pride in this kind of civic infrastructure. So the design of this bridge kind of came out of a bunch of understandings around this heritage intention, the way in which the existing bridge that this new bridge replaced was operating, and the sort of key design moves that was making. There was also this sort of series of infrastructures around the cemetery that also act as memorials, and we saw an opportunity for this bridge to act as a memorial as well as being a vital piece of infrastructure.
So the project sits in its context and landscapes and creates its own memorial infrastructure for Fawkner cemeteries. As a group, we were able to take observations of the surrounding bridges that relate to the City Beautiful movement and an ever-present concrete culvert. Although the existing garden bridge was innovative for its time, it was dilapidated, overgrown, and shin-high balustrades were non-compliant with that, and it was creating an obstacle for the Melbourne water assets. Our office had never produced a bridge before, so it was a collaboration from the whole team to come up with key strategies that relate to the heritage, as well as new design responses. Heritage geometry that we could reinterpret, heritage materials reused and adapted, heritage landscapes integrated, symmetry, a natural arbour, the outer skin with various porous and solid variations, framed sightlines, and integrated landscapes. First time we visited the site, we couldn't find it. It was overgrown, dilapidated, unsafe, and had a huge warning sign. Fast forward a year at the site PC, and the whole car park is full of families carrying wreaths over the bridge. The bridge was speaking for itself, guiding people over to say goodbye.
So the other thing that's sort of key to this, and we worked closely with Clay Martin, the landscape architect, to sort of reinterpret some of that existing planting and to work with some of the sort of large existing canopy trees to ensure they weren't impacted by the bridge's new footings. Much of the planting on the bridge were Banksias and bottle brushes, that existed on the bridge previously, and have been sort of reinstated now. And Clay Martin worked with us to kind of create a palette of colours that sort of related closely to Indigenous colours for mourning.
Heritage material interpretation. Heritage material interpretation of lava rock to red brick, rough material characteristics transformed to a subtle brick shift, charcoal to red. Through careful documentation, a paint by numbers of sorts, I was able to break the project down brick by brick and create a complex material gradient. Working closely with the bricklayers, they crafted 4 facades, both sides of the bridge, identical to one another, front to back, side to side. And the ability to blend into the landscape, but it's also to stand out for public use. Functionally, the functional was a key for the project. Designed for large groups, the structure was wide and spacious for ample space for people to arrive in short time frames and gather to pay respect. Carefully placed seating and integrated landscapes to sit and reflect for smaller groups, and semicircular voids in the centre of the bridge that created calm moments to sit and observe the movement of the water below, while also referencing the distinct circular geometry of the demolished bridge's concrete culvert. Filtering and revealing views to the landscape, the brick's balustrades changed in height, lifting and increasing in porosity to create framed views towards the chapel, contrasting hidden glimpses of the creek. The height of the balustrade lifts at the chapel end and constrains views to encourage focus on the tree canopy. The construction of the bridge, we built on client-architect relationships already instilled through previous memorial infrastructure, created on-site relationships with the contractor and bricklayer who also saw it as a challenge and a task to work through creating a bridge. Once the demolition of the existing commenced, we were able to retain the soil by reinstating the red brick abutments with brick tyres. The large steel wagon wheel was lifted in and a complex formwork put in for the single in situ concrete pour, which saw the circular geometry flipped on its axis and two large voids cut in something into it. The coordination for this was hard, with the structural engineers pushing back on wanting their bridge deck cut. A relatively smooth construction process, besides, of course, the COVID delays and the slight hiccups of constructing in a cemetery, as you need to be respectful of your surroundings and funeral services happening in the chapel 15 metres away. This project allowed me to take a stronger leadership role, work through all stages of the project, and enable my professional growth. I have since completed it a year ago and been able to put the same passion, capability and knowledge to undertake a much larger piece of memorial infrastructure with the same client at Northern Memorial Park. All in all, the bridge is built and designed for a 100-year life cycle. It's robust material, low maintenance, and an outcome that I know I am and everyone that worked on the project is proud of, and the outcome that will stand the test of time.